Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. I am sitting here on a Monday afternoon having a coffee. So if you're having a coffee when you're listening to this, then let's have a coffee together. Right now, I am dropping into the podcast our success panel. So the recording of our success panel. When I was recording it, I made sure I kept it really audio friendly. I love doing that for everything, right? Because I want everything to be easy to digest podcast style, even if it's in a visual medium to start with, like Zoom. So, success panel. What? Why? How? So basically what it was is me inviting 7 tribe members. So they're inside my transformation program at different stages of their journey. So we had some that were 12 weeks into the program, some that were over 12 months. So probably about 14, 15 months. That means that they're year 2 graduate club members. Over those 7 bookkeepers, they were all different types of bookkeepers, meaning we had Karen Andrews, who has 10 staff. She's 5 years in. Okay, so killing it. Why did she join? Well, you'll hear about that inside the success panel. Then we had bookkeepers that were 6 months in when they joined my program, living out of their savings. They got to 6-figure income. So early bookkeepers right at conceptual, starting out, bookkeepers 40 years into their journey, but just didn't quite get there. Okay, so you'll hear from bookkeepers at all different stages, which I love. And a bookkeeper who's semi-retired and doesn't actually want to grow very much, but just wants to do something particular, you'll hear from her as well. So I was really excited that we could give you a smorgasbord of tribe members at different stages of both the transformation program and their own bookkeeping practice journey, so that you could listen to why they joined, what they're getting out of it, all the different things, okay? Now, the success panel was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was really insightful. There was one particular thing that came out of it that really stayed with me and stayed with my team, and that is that there's been this kind of theme, this echo lately, that the tribe members, a lot of them telling me that they just weren't really running a business when they joined me. Their business was running them, and that now they have a real business. And I'd heard little bits of it, but I hadn't heard it in that way said over and over by so many bookkeepers. So it's definitely a key experience. I think it's one of those things I didn't anticipate. There's not that much I didn't anticipate in the program. I don't get a lot of surprises. When bookkeepers get massive wins, all the things that happen, most of it I anticipated through having been there, done that, right? So it's really nice for me when there's little things that I wasn't expecting. So that was really awesome. So how about I stop rambling on, we jump inside and you listen to all the tribe members tell you about their experience inside the transformation program. I'm Jeannie Savage, the strategic bookkeeper. I've been in practice for 14 years, but more importantly, 5 years in, I achieved a lifestyle practice. This means I scaled my business, could take my hands off the wheel and draw a nice 6-figure income while being time rich. And that's what I call my dream on my terms. I was recently awarded Women in Finance Innovator of the Year, recognizing my book, my podcast, my program, and my impact globally. The Strategic Bookkeeper is my life's work, and the opportunity to help bookkeepers globally achieve the income and lifestyle that sets them free absolutely fills my cup. Please do connect with me on socials at the Strategic Bookkeepers Way private Facebook group, or shoot me an email, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Good afternoon, or depending on where you are in the world, hello to everyone who's coming through. And if you happen to be a tribe member, as we get questions, always welcome to jump in and answer. The next thing, which would be great, before we get started and we all have a chat, I'd just love you to throw in at any time, starting now, can be any time, what questions you have. Like, what are you hoping to find out today? I've had some great questions on the email lately about the program. Sometimes I get questions that I feel like are really relevant to the individual. Sometimes I get more general questions. The more you contribute, the more you tell us, here's what I want to know. Like, I want to know, how will I make my money back? What are these assets all about? What's the main benefit of the program? Okay, I'm not going to be very good at figuring these out myself. I'm way inside my square. So first of all, thank you so much to my team, many who are in the room. And then thank you so much to the tribe members who've taken the time and the courage to jump on today and share. As I said a second ago, please do give us any questions you've got for the tribe members today, and we will do our best to answer those. I'm going to start by calling on Deb, and I'm going to start by asking Deb to share with you when she joined, why she joined, and what's changed for her since she joined. She might share a little bit about herself as well.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you all are. Thank you very much for joining us. I am kicking myself that I did not join as soon as the doors opened on the 1st of August last year. Absolutely kicking myself. Okay, I joined on the 8th. I missed a week and I'm kicking myself. The reason I joined is because it was my last ditch effort to actually have a business in bookkeeping. I've been a bookkeeper accountant for 40 odd years, and it was my last ditch effort. Anybody that's listened to the podcast that I did with Jeannie will know that I'm a 2-time domestic violence survivor. I was made homeless, and I just want to buy a house. I want to be a homeowner again. I want that financial security. So that's why I joined the program. Now, what's changed for me? Well, the 2nd of January this year, my business went boom. No word of a lie. I was onboarding a brand new client, on average, one every week. And it was just all down to Jeannie and the program. So seriously, I wish that Jeannie had been around years ago so that I wouldn't have got myself into this position. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely. It's the best thing I have ever done. I kept posting in the tribe. So if you do join, you can go back and have a look at my post. But every now and then I'd post in the tribe what my turnover was. And my turnover for last financial year, compared to the previous financial year, ended up at being somewhere in the vicinity, I can't remember exactly, about 2.5 times my turnover from the previous year. So far, I'm at 1.6 turnover from last year. So it's still growing. I've just onboarded another 4 clients in the last 3 weeks. It's gone mad, and I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deb. And we can circle back to Deb, but you guys ask anything. I know Deb does rock. Jen said the other day to one of the tribe, because one of our tribe that was new said, I don't have a team. And I said, yes, you do. You got a team the day you joined the program. And then Jen said, you got all of us too. I think until you're in and you can, feel the support from the tribe. And so absolutely, when you say, Suzanne, I might reach out to you, Deb. Yes. I actually encourage the tribe to create little power groups to get together. Kay Godfrey organizes coffee catch-ups. They were all wearing the T-shirt at the conference the other day. So it's really, really amazing. And so I'll call on Jen next. Thank you so much, Deb. Amazing. I will say that I think, and I hope that one day Deb will work with me to step up to train a little on this. Everyone in the tribe shines in different areas. And I think Deb really shines around the conversion process. And Deb is someone, when a few people said, Deb, how did you do it? She said, I just followed the steps one by one that Jeannie said, and that's it. Yeah. So conversion process, wow. And also Deb is a clear and direct communicator who speaks up and tells me what's not working, which is always helpful. Not easy. We're not all people that are comfortable with that. But if we can find a way privately or publicly, like in a forum or just one-on-one, to tell me, I can help. So I just want to mention a few of those things. So Jen, if I can call on you next and let me have a look at the things, and just thinking your journey, I'll probably just ask you to share just a little, I think anything that is in your heart. We can look at, when did you join? I know Jen joined at a similar time to Deb, but just a bit about your why, what's changed, and maybe a bit for you about ROI and, where you're at now in the program even.
Yeah, sure. So I was actually one of the first people through the doors. I was in communication with Jeannie in the lead up I was in the process of taking over a business in the months in the lead up, and I was terrified. I've been a bookkeeper for 20 years and I have avoided the responsibility of taking ownership of a business, but also this business was not doing very well. It was very, very busy, very, very low rates and things like that. So was a very stressful time. But when I found Jeannie's program, I'm like, I need this. With regards to how it sort of went from there, as soon as I think a month before I joined, I transitioned everyone using the podcast only from hourly rates to fixed billing. So we had a fixed fee and I did it down and dirty. It was not very well done. I took their 12 months earnings for the previous 12 months, divided it by 12 and said, that's your monthly fee. And that just allowed me to have consistent income. But once I sort of got into the program, started to learn about pricing and things, I started to realize there is so much more I can do. So what I focused on was, how do I deliver more value? How can I give them more without doing a lot of extra work?
To celebrate Bookkeeper Week, we'd like to give you a gift, and that is a $1 trial of our transformation program. On the 6th of November, we are going to give you 48 hours to take advantage of this $1 trial and then 14 days access to the program. The impact of this program has seen me recognised by Women in Finance Australia as Innovator of the Year, and I have been hearing from bookkeepers all over the world who tell me that they are hearing about the impact of the program. They're hearing directly from bookkeepers who are getting incredible results. Some of them are making six figures in their first year inside the program. Now, this is only the second time that we have ever done this $1 trial. It is to celebrate Bookkeeper Week. It is only available for 48 hours to give you that 14 days access. Last time we ran it, it was incredibly popular, which I completely understand because there is a million reasons to take up this very special limited time offer and zero reasons not to. I'll also tell you what you can expect. So basically, you can expect to be onboarded into our program. That is the team, the education, the assets, the implementation, and the support. Okay, so you will see Team HQ, you will get access to the academy where you get the education and you'll see all the assets. Okay, then you will get implementation coaching sessions. So you're going to be able to come in and get coached by me and coached by my right hand. And our coaching sessions are described as mind-blowing, and we consistently get 10 out of 10 when we survey our tribe. You will also get the support of the private mentoring group. Okay, so you will come into our paid members private community and you will be able to network with the entire tribe. If you have been wondering what's behind the door of the transformation program, now is definitely the time. I hope to see you in there.
And I started using the assets and things to start building the value. And then from the value, I was able to work with my clients to now charge twice the hourly rate that I was charging. Well, I don't charge in hours, but I doubled the rate for everybody. Over about a 6-month period, working on one client at a time. I have 3 clients on succession products now where I do strategic things for them as well, and they're all legacy clients. I haven't had any new business in the last 12 months. It has just been building and working on the legacy clients so that I can now build my team, who is starting next week. Very excited. So that I can now actually build more business, because I actually haven't been able to take on anything new. I've been in there doing the hours and doing the work myself for that whole time. In return on investment, I saw my first wins within the first couple of months, and that for me actually came about with the standalone course of the training module. where I was able to do the training module, and I was able to bill out training, and instead of charging $150 for training, I was now able to charge $700, $800, $900 and give an amazing package, and the clients loved it, and they still love it. They still sign up. Training is something that I've always been passionate about. So it worked really well for me to give that as an add-on to people when there was an area in their business that wasn't working, or they wanted some more support on how to use their software and things. But with the doubling of the fees, I did have some clients that weren't really working for me that dropped off. But aside from that, I've easily, as I said, doubled my rates, which means that my income is now making me a profit as opposed to sometimes costing me a profit. So I'm really happy with that, and I'm looking forward to actually expanding at this point. So the next 12 months will just be full speed ahead.
Expansion, and because it is a choose your own adventure, right? We were talking about this in today's open coaching. You've come in with a whole lot of clients. I look at Shell is right at the beginning of her journey, right? So the adventure you choose is very, very different. And so, Jen, the other thing I'd just love for you to make any comments on is, I know brand was an important part for you, because getting that $1 Million Storybook brochure done and those other parts, and I think the video sales letter, it meant that when you went to do the doubling of the prices, it was easier to overcome the objections. Is that correct?
1,000%. The resources and things that you're given, and the $1 Million Storybook brochure is key. Video sales letters actually really help to build in that additional value, because as a business coming in, I didn't have a price guarantee. I didn't have a service guarantee. I didn't have the things that the brochure talked about. So the clients were able to see the elevation of what I was delivering, which meant that then they were very unobjective to me going, okay, well, this is now going to cost you more. Whereas I think if I had just said, okay, I'm going to charge you more, but I'm not going to make any changes whatsoever, I definitely would have felt a bit of pushback. And my clients are actually happier now, and I feel like I'm able to give them more, because it's not pick up the phone and go, oh God, I can't spend more than 5 minutes on the phone with this person because I can't afford to spend the time with this person, or I need to record this 5 minutes that I've spent on the phone because I need to charge it. Now I just pick up the phone and I just want to talk to them. It's a completely different relationship, and it really benefits them, and it benefits you.
Oh, it really does. I love your journey is like almost, so much like mine when I got 5 years in and everything I had to do. You've created oxygen in your business, and now you can breathe and you're well. So you get to just have fun and help your clients.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, I get, and when it happens and you're like, oh, I didn't know this was on the other side of the fence. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. That has been amazing. Okay, let's jump across to Karen Thompson. Let's go to Karen. Karen was on the podcast recently, so I'll let Karen share in a second. She was really a lot earlier on in her bookkeeping practice journey. She's now really book solid and recruiting someone. So for everyone in the room, I want you to just think about, from everything you're hearing, what questions you have, okay? Because please feel free to share in the chat box any questions. And that's right, I was going to say about Jen, she now knows how to sell the destination Paris, not the long haul flight. Jen, if you have gone back to your clients to double the price without the $1 Million Storybook brochure and so on, you would absolutely have been selling a long haul flight rather than Paris. Does that make sense? Yeah. We need to stop selling bookkeeping. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to pay for it. We need to sell the benefit of bookkeeping. If there is one thing you take away from today, please let that be it. What's the benefit of bookkeeping? Tons of things. Better in Business is the one that we connect to. Okay. All right. So Karen Thompson, if you just like to kind of share with an open heart and an open mind a bit about the same kind of things, the connect to the return on investment, what's changed for you, why you joined, where you are now, and any favorite parts of the program that you've found, even if it's right now, particularly impactful.
So I launched my practice February last year. and hadn't come from a bookkeeping background. So it was not just a startup, I was a very green startup. And I joined the program because I had no idea how to package and price the services to be a standout. I knew that I wanted to deliver a platinum level service. I wanted a point of difference to the run-of-the-mill bookkeeping practice, but I had no idea how to price and package for success for myself, but also to be able to have such an impact on my clients that they could be successful. And I also just had no idea how to build and run a thriving business myself. So I joined the program because, I was really drawn to the pricing that, Jeannie, you spoke about in your book. And then also, I guess, you being the trailblazer that you are, I wanted to follow in your footsteps and take all of your learnings and success and learn from you. So I joined as the doors opened on the 1st of August. I was absolutely terrified to join because at that time I was 6 months into my business. I had almost run out of my savings, and to commit to something for a year felt really terrifying. But I got a return. I went on the payment plan. I went on the weekly purely because of cash flow, and I got a return on the full 12 months of the program investment within my first 8 weeks. So 8 weeks in, I was like, I literally can't regret this. I've already made it back, and I know from here it's just going to keep going. If I look at my numbers for the last financial year, the turnover was, I think, something like 280% on the year before. And it's tracking well ahead of that already for this financial year. What do I love about the program? I love the marketing assets. They are just top notch. They are just a blueprint, and they make it easy. And a bit like the other ladies have already said, clients just, as soon as they see them, they're just like, wow, you're in a different game to everybody else we've dealt with. I've learnt the art of sales coming from an operational background in my previous career. I've learnt the art of sales, and I love it. I actually love it more than anything else now. It's kind of weird. And also learning about all the different, tech stack options out there and all the things that have been tried and tested, and that, rather than making all the same mistakes that everyone could easily make, it's taking the best of the best. That's, I don't mind investing and paying for things if it's worth it. But there's nothing worse than when you go and invest in something and it's not worth it. So, getting all of that feedback has been amazing. So I've been very much focused on winning the work and building my client base. I'm now at capacity. I'm still working on my own, but I'm now at capacity and still have people in my pipeline and still have a wait list. And so I'm now furiously focusing on the content in the program around systems and team, getting ready to recruit someone in here. So just getting the house in order so that I can onboard and transition someone into the business quite seamlessly. So it's pretty exciting.
That's amazing. We do want everyone, you've heard now. So Deb's been in practice for 40 years, Jen, 20 years, Karen right at the beginning, Shell, you'll hear, is right at the beginning. Karen Andrews is fair way in, and she's got a team of 10. So all different bookkeepers. With Karen Thompson, because she started in February, she joined in August. It was that beginning of the journey and going from that living out of the savings to a 6-figure income in the space of a year. This is, for me, this is exactly what I want, exactly what I need. Somebody taught me, and Juliana will know who this is, that when I built out my program, whatever I charge for it, I should be aiming for everyone to get at least a 10x return. So I promise you'll make more than the fee, right? But I had to look and go, am I giving at least 10 times the value? I'd love any comments in the chat box about this, because I got a message the other day, and it was real devil's advocate bookkeeper, really direct. And, why are you worth this money? Why are you better than other coaches? How can I hear directly from tribe members and all this stuff? I think when you join the program, you bring on a 6-figure team. Do you know what I mean? I think being in business operations at the beginning, you would have been able to see, you know what, realistically, I kind of need a team, but we can't afford a team. We're all by ourselves. It's small business. But when you come in, I've recruited this six-figure team that has built all the assets that Karen talks about. So, you know, being able to look at what I was charging out and saying, yes, the 10x value is there. And then what you heard from Karen is exactly what I will work my bum off to help you achieve. It's really what's in my heart. So thanks so much, Karen. I'll move on so we can circle back and just have some fun as well. Let's go next, Karen, with Karen Andrews. So yeah, Karen, just a little bit about you, you know, why you joined, where you've come from, what's going on now, what you're loving right now, and how long you've been in the program, a baby in the program.
Yes, I am. I joined about 10 weeks ago now. As you said, I do have quite a large practice. We have a team of 10. I don't really do any bookkeeping myself anymore. I mainly do some of the, you know, the catch-up rectification work and the onboarding. And at the moment, I'm not doing much of that. I'm mainly working on implementing all the stuff I've learned. So why did I join? I guess I joined for number one, as I said in my podcast interview with you, I went all the way with my education. I've been working in medical research for a really long time. I really believe in getting as much education and learning from as many people as you can. So that's been really important to me, and I'm always looking for that. I got to the point where I was feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit unmotivated in my business. I was wondering why I really wasn't making more profit given the size of the business. It really should be producing more profit. So when I came across your content, I think I joined the starter program. I think I came to one session, saw a few things in there and thought, yeah, it's probably, you know, what I'm looking for, particularly in the advisory. So I wanted to make more profit, to get more time freedom, and I wanted to fall in love with advisory. All the other programs I've done have made me terrified of advisory. I was like, I know I can do it, but I kept feeling like I didn't have the knowledge to do it. And I needed a little bit more of a casual structure on how to do that. And I think I've got that from the program. And I feel like, more importantly, my team is going to be confident enough to deliver advisory following the program as well, because they probably, you know, it comes from the top. They probably picking up my hesitancy around it. They've just got access and have just started. So that's pretty amazing for them as well. What's changed? Well, like most people, I'm already starting to see a return on investment with the new clients, and I'm charging for the rectification work a little bit differently. I'm charging for the fresh eyes. I wouldn't really have charged that amount before, but I am seeing that no one's saying no, so that's good.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. I guess I'm already made the program money back, and I can only see that getting more value from it in the future. And yeah, one of the best things I ever did.
I love what you say about education. I would spend at least 3 hours a week educating myself with high level education. And so I just love what you said there. And there was a time I didn't value it like I do now. You know, and I think maybe like you too, Karen. I mean, you've been a lifelong learner, but in terms of in my business, it was around the time of COVID, I spent about $17,000 on a really great program. I mean, I know that some bookkeepers, I know a lot of the tribe laugh and go, Jeannie, your program's so cheap, but then bookkeepers that don't know say it's expensive, you know, whereas I spent $17,000 on a program. Do you know what? It was worth every cent. And I think that program taught me I need to be doing something major every year. And I'm always looking for the next thing. As an organization, we spent about $15,000 on a great program a while ago, which we're all working through and using, and the whole tribe will benefit from the new intelligence that we bring into the strategic bookkeeper, you know. Now, before I go back to one of our other tribe members, I'm just going to read out Marguerite. So, hi, Jeannie. I was in business from 98 to 2008. trading time for money, burnt out. Who can relate to that so much? Went back to working for a boss. Seems that the only drawback from that is the work redundancy has come up twice. I have decided after the last redundancy, I need to go back to own my own business. Someone else just reached out to me and said they're feeling the same. However, a lot has changed. So yeah, a lot has changed. So I'm starting from scratch. I've contacted some of my old clients. Well done. Oh my goodness. That's one of the pillars. Well done. Work your network. Okay. I have contacted some of my old clients and got such a high hearing them talk about my work. The universe is supporting you. I'm getting tingles. I bought the Audible book, Strategic Bookkeeper. Still halfway through that, and I like what I am hearing. The next book's on my desk, everyone. The manuscript's with me. Really on board with the idea of menu and brand, because it's all done for you in the program as well. But I need to market myself and get the phone and email coming in. So, Marguerite, thank you for sharing. And I'll show you what happens when you share. When you share with an open heart and an open mind, I get to share as well. So I'm going to share with you the bookkeeping practice blueprint. It's coming through as a file, so it's nice and easy. It's my gift from me to you and everyone in the room. It is a creative child I birthed, and everything that you need to build is on there. It's a checklist. It's a diagnostics tool, okay? So, but I also need to market myself and get the phone and email. Yeah, it's true, Marguerite. The other thing, though, just to bear in mind, like if you look at, I'm making an assumption you're in Australia because I know we pivoted to charging US dollars. Because I serve bookkeepers globally, we have to pick a currency, and that's what made the most sense. So let's say it's 7,500 for the year for an Australian, okay? So number one, I'm sure the tribe members could answer this. What can you buy in your bookkeeping practice for $7,500? Not much, right? So, and it's $99 US a week. And this is so many of us take up the payment plan option because we're where you are, Marguerite. And it's really important to know, like Deb, for example, if we can find that the reason I made it like that was to make it accessible, because what happens if you look at the bookkeeping practice blueprint, what will happen if you don't join the program is that you'll miss the opportunity. And usually that first and second opportunity pays for the program. Okay, so I just want you to digest that, whether you're looking to join us this round or next. I want you to digest that and ask me as many questions as you've got. We'll hear from Shell shortly, who's really new, who can probably talk about that as well as someone who went, well, I'm going to put the cart before the horse and I'm going to buy the bookkeeping practice in a box so that from day dot I get it right, okay? So I just want to mention that. Karen says the TSB customer journey, I love the customer journey blueprint, really works. I've not had any prospective client push back or question any of it. And my conversion once I conduct a discovery call is consistently at 90%. And I think we all need to digest that for a minute. Everyone who rings Karen, 100% of the clients she wants moves ahead, which is 90% of the people who contact her, okay? All right, Karen Andrews, thank you so much. Let's move on to Miss Heidi. And Heidi, very similar. I might go a little bit, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to ask you to first tell me what you'd say to someone who is on the fence about joining.
That's a tough one. I'd jump in is what I would say.
Jump over.
Yep. Confidence, resources, support, just everything is there for you. The whole choose your own adventure is massive as well. I believe in that. Everybody's story is different. And depending on where you're at in the journey, you can pick which modules work for you at the time and jump in.
Yeah, like a toolbox. I tend to think it's like I need the spanner. I'll reach in and get the you just got it with you. Because you should be implementing on the job with the toolkit there. I said to someone today, you don't need that much ready. Get your $1 million storybook brochure nailed. You can do that in a day, really. And then, because Mel asked me today, do I need to get through the whole pricing academy? Said for legacy clients, you're going to have to understand what to do. But for new, when you use our conversion process and you go, okay, tell me about yourself. And then you get everything down. Then you say, right, I know exactly what you need. And then I'm going to send you my personal recommendations by close of business tomorrow. You've now bought yourself 36 hours to go into the toolkit, grab what you need and implement. So I have designed it so that you don't have to do all this deep learning. This is a smart thing in business. And I know Juliana in the room knows this from a mentor that we both love. And bookkeepers always get this the other way. And I did, right? That is, we're thinking about the delivery of the work before the demand and desire. Whereas if somebody like myself gives us what we need to create the demand first, and then you've got everything to implement anyway, you don't actually have to do this. It's one of the differences between me and other coaches. I'm not expecting you to learn tons of stuff before you implement. It's kind of goes, I'm learning while I'm implementing all at once. Can you relate to that, Heidi?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Each sort of section in, I can just see Diane Willis has put, how do you know which direction to go in? If you don't know, you send a message to the tribe as well and say, look, this is my problem, and you'll get directed to which module to focus on. If you just go through each section as to what your problem is at the time, there's always going to be more than one happening, but it allows you just to push forwards with that one while you deal with the other one the way you normally would, or try to jump in and do them both at the same time. But yeah, the tribe will help direct you where to go as well.
And also, Diane, so the way I'd answer that too, we have two sections of the program, win the work, do the work. So think about Jen, how she said she's full up with clients. I don't need any more clients. So what Jen and I did is we jumped in and did a hot seat. And so Jen was kind of the same kind of thing. Where do I start? What do I do? So you have the opportunity to work with myself and Joe McMahon to tell us what's going on, and we will ask you key questions. You even do a practice audit when you join. You fill in a form to tell me what's going on, and then we help you and direct you to what you need to do to solve the problems you need to solve, okay? And those problems add up to more profit or more time. That's where the roads lead, okay? But how you create more profit is really, it can be, I need to win work. I need to win business. Yeah, I need to convert, like Karen Thompson said, more prospective clients into clients. I need my products and pricing to be not broken. Okay. So we identify with you. Like if you said, well, I'm full up with clients. Well, that's a very different strategy to I have no clients. So all of that is built in for you. Okay. And I'll just check Taryn's before I come back to Heidi. So can I ask questions about ongoing cost as a strategic bookkeeper? Yes. Great question. Like how does web hosting work? Great. Okay. So web hosting, we don't include that. I was always getting my website hosted by Your Easy Web Solutions Brisbane. I think they're fantastic. That was costing me $30 a month. I like a premium hosting. I have just switched over to Biz Inc., and that's who we recommended. They bundle their hosting in and they have like a subscription fee for the website, but their websites are so world class. That's what I recommend there. So that's a great question. Also, what does it have for systems and processes in regards to suggestions for add-ons for different types of clients? So we have done for you standard operating procedures. We also have so I've got, for example, if a client uses Arrowflow, yep, I don't know if you've seen, I've worked with Arrowflow quite a bit. Unleash and Xero do give recommendations for how to simplify work. Look, we give you done for standard operating procedures and a coach. Okay, so basically you get everything that we have, and then you have a coach in there to basically work with you around all of that. We don't have specific stuff around Arrowflow or Unleashed. We do around Xero, but the software packages are a little bit irrelevant, so to speak. So we're not here to primarily focus on tech, but when it comes to the tech, we use like the Dext suite and Ignition and Xero. Well, particularly the add-ons like Ignition and the Dext suite. We do give you some additional support, and for example, Dext actually install our workflows for you. So Taryn, just let me know in the chat if that has started to answer, but we have a dedicated person working on this. And we did have one of our bookkeepers, she was on the phone to me and she's having a bit of a rough time. She was going rogue on me and doing a whole lot of stuff that is not inside the program. And if you work with me, you'll learn. I really want you to just do what I ask you to do, because there's so much to do. There's no time for extra stuff. But she also said she was early on in her journey and she was struggling with the tech. And I said to her, but you've got Joe McMahon. why aren't you using Joe? She said, oh, am I really allowed to ask her all that stuff? I said, yeah. And she said that in an hour, she got more out of Joe than 15 hours on her own, the poor love. So I think everyone in the tribe loves Joe. Everyone gets a lot out of her. So yeah, Heidi, thank you for answering that first one. Could you make some comments on kind of where you're at in your practice when you joined, why you joined, what's changed, and any ROI stuff?
I joined about 3 years into practice, and looking back now, I realised that I was working for my clients. I didn't have a business. That's how I now see where I was. I didn't really know which direction to go in. I didn't have the confidence or support to make any decisions or even the knowledge to know where to go. I took a chance and booked tickets to XeroCon in Sydney, and Jeannie happened to be on the stage giving a speech. And I went home that night, downloaded her book, read the book. I think I saw her there the next day, and I think Jeannie probably doesn't remember this, but she said to me, you are so going to join my program. And I did. The program has been amazing for me with confidence and support mostly, and just knowing that if I have a problem, I can find a solution, or I can talk to the team and actually say, hey, look, has anybody been through this, or how do we handle it? Having that, I'm from a rural town in South Australia where there's not a lot of access to support like that. I'm a mum with 3 young teenage daughters, a husband who's FIFO worker. So I've kind of got like a boutique version where I'm at capacity but part-time. But as soon as, the time comes now, when the kids leave home, I've got everything ready to just take off. I've now got a website. I've got 2 staff. I never imagined I would be there. I just thought it would be little old me working in the background for some clients. But, I've come out of, 12 months on, super proud of owning a business and actually being able to call it a business. And I just don't think I could leave the tribe, because I just know that support is just confidence and great for me to move forwards. Yeah.
Amazing. And the confidence is definitely something that in my heart, to go and say, what I want for everyone is confidence, I think might have been hard to explain. But when I hear it from the tribe, it really touches my heart, because I really wanted to help everyone find the courage to see the truth that they are valuable and get that confidence, So when I started to hear that, it was just amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. The program is the gift that keeps on giving. My partner says that he's accepted I'm married to my tribe. Okay, so let's move on to Kay, who I think everyone will agree that Kay is a really special member of the tribe. She came in and she's all about community. She organises lots of catch-ups. She shares photos of her gorgeous cat, so I'm going to come and kidnap one day. And yeah, she's just a really fun community member. She was a competitive bodybuilder. She's had quite the life. And I recommended one of our tribe members that was struggling, just reach out to Kay recently. I said, if you want somebody to hold you accountable, I think Kay Godfrey is a girl. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you, Kay, just your experience inside the program.
Well, I'm loving the program. Quickly, I was going to retire, because I did have a bookkeeping business previously, but I was a franchisee. I was definitely going to retire, but then I saw Jeannie's program, and people said to me as well, what are you going to do if you retire? And I thought, not sure, because I just love work. So I spoke to Jeannie Christmas Eve last year, and joined the program straight away. I already knew before I spoke to Jeannie that it was exactly what I wanted. And what I get out of it mainly is just all the support, the interaction with the other tribe members, help when I need it. I said to Jeannie before, my favourite part is the Facebook group, mainly because I can actually ask a question on the Facebook group, and if Jeannie doesn't answer it, and more often than not she does, and it's not just a quick answer, it's usually a short video telling me exactly what I need to do, or more to the point as well, sometimes what I shouldn't be doing, because we all know you need to follow the program for it to work. That's what I mainly like about the program is just and obviously all the collateral, or whatever you want to call it, the 7 Deadly Cash Flow Sins book, which you get co-authored with Jeannie. So it's a sort of really proud moment when you can send that book out to people as a marketing tool and say, look, I co-authored this with Jeannie Savage, and your photos on there as well. And I like the event as well as the 7 Deadly Cash Flow Sins, basically. I can't remember what it was called. Business Fundamentals training.
Yes.
You gave to us, finished, ready to go, which I also used on Tradie Wives. And I did a webinar for them on the business fundamentals training. So all given to me by Jeannie, didn't have to do too much. I knew that it wasn't created by Kay, it was created by Jeannie, who is a very knowledgeable strategic bookkeeper. So yeah.
Thank you so much. It does allow me to share. Look, the business fundamentals training I think is exceptional. It's about 45 minutes. And something I really wanted to do in the program, I was told once, sometimes someone says something to you and you think, I need to keep that. There's really something in that. And someone said to me, Jeannie, you're an anomaly in the bookkeeping industry. While most bookkeepers really struggle with brand marketing and selling, it's your zone of genius. And I was like, oh, okay. And so when I decided to build out the program, the reason I built it out the way I did is I decided, like, if all these people I have a little saying where I think I talk about it in my book, if I've got a whole lot of giraffes, I can't just put them in elephant suits and then expect them to be elephants, right? And this is what I thought. I don't want to try and turn all these people into brand marketing and selling specialists in 2 seconds. I can't do that. It's going to take me years and years and years. And then I thought, well, what if I know the power of team? I'll always say you won't win the game without a winning team. So what if we come together as a community and they all leverage my zone of genius while sitting in their own zone of genius? And yes, learning little by little by little, so that we get people like Deb having all this expertise around conversion, like Jen the other day, pretty much coaching on products and pricing in a way that I struggled to do. I knew the tribe would rise in key areas, but with the business fundamentals training, the reason, so I was building that out and I was doing it so that the tribe could do it live, they could present it live, they could create a recording, but I really wanted to figure out a way to do it for them. To turn up, to do the entire thing, to pitch them. Public speaking is hard, so that they could take that and literally just serve it up, done for you. The head of the Strategic Bookkeeper Network is pitching third-party advocacy for you, and it's done. You just grab it and you use it. And that's why I did it that way, because I really didn't want to leave anyone behind. I didn't want there to be a barrier for getting and using this stuff just because this isn't your zone of genius. Thank you, Kay. I really wanted to share that. I'm going to ask you, is that your favorite parts of the program, or is it like any 1, 2, or 3 things where you're like, those things?
It's all, most of the stuff, it's all to do with marketing, because I've been a bookkeeper before. I feel as though I know what tech stack I want to use and all that kind of stuff. Although sometimes I do have questions. But yeah, it's mainly the marketing stuff. As Heidi said, you choose your own adventure. I went through the whole program quickly, Christmas time, just very quickly. But then now I just kind of pull out the bits that I want to concentrate on, which is things like the $1 Million Storybook brochure, although mine's already done and ready to go, and it's on my website. My website was also built. Now it's really actually getting your advice, Jeannie, when I want it, because as you know, I'm slightly different to some of the other tribe members. I don't want a big business, although I just heard from, is it Heidi, who said she's keeping small at the moment. I'm actually targeting people who do their own bookkeeping, not doing bookkeeping for people. And that's working for me. But I think sometimes I have different questions that I need to ask Jeannie how I should sort of approach certain situations. And my fear at the moment is getting too big, because I know that it would be very, very easy for me to accept all the leads that come into me, but I don't actually want to do that. So it's quality over quantity for me. People who do their own bookkeeping mainly, I do training. I'm moving more into virtual CFO, which I'm enjoying. And as you said, Jeannie, people don't really want to do their own bookkeeping. It's and I think we all get most traction from people who want support, guidance with their businesses. So that the virtual CFO space is where I'm heading with your help.
Interesting. The tech, economic and consumer landscape's always changing, right? And Joe McMahon and I are in the last phases of I'd call it testing and building robots, because we're working with an organization where we're having to build out the robot process that will suit all small bookkeepers. I have a real passion for solo bookkeepers and even just small business bookkeepers, because a lot of stuff out there is made for the volume bookkeepers or the accountants. So the pushback on really good robots was always that it's not repeatable, because they need to be able to build them and charge money out to big volume accountants. So we're just in the last stages of that, and whether that changes anything, because it opens up a little capacity, we'll see. So thank you so much, Kay. Before we go to Shell, I'll just go and read some things out in the chat, because I like to keep these audio friendly. Yeah, Deb says confidence is the biggest thing I get out of the program. Yeah, for me to meet Deb at the beginning is shy, definitely not confidence there. And then for Deb to just show up like superhero landing it was within no time. It was something pretty incredible for me. So that's amazing. Suzanne, I'd love to get the feeling that I have a business rather than working for multiple different bosses. Yep, we all hear you. Taryn, I've just started on my own. I read this one a second ago. This is my biggest fear. I hope I don't fall down that trap. And Taryn, you know what? Join the program. You won't fall down that trap. I'm just not shy about saying it. You know what? I sit at home and I think, why would anyone not join this program? I think fear, and I think not really understanding the impact of it is the main thing, because once you're in, it's like, holy cow, there's nothing we leave behind. Everything you need is in there. Okay. So I'd love really to have you think about that. Heidi says, as Jeannie says, play the no fail long game. Yeah, mindset and productivity. As long as you're making steps in the right direction, you'll get there. Jen says you join for the practical items, but honestly, the support and confidence, as well as the tools in the program that change in mindset, has been incredible. And Juliana, confidence boost for sure. Also, the feedback from team members regarding the systems we've put in place and both old and new clients is great. Juliana says, there's nothing like this program in the bookkeeping space. You can't really compare it to any other. And it is true. Emily says, I think the hesitancy to join a program like this is fear. It is, especially with very low cash flow. Yep, I get it. I don't have the dollars to spare to invest, so I have to borrow money to join the program, which is a big risk. And that's, Emily, I get it. I started my practice in the GFC when interest rates were hitting double figures with 2 mortgages. I had to go back to work faster than I had planned, and I chose to work for myself. And, the only coaching around at the time was going to be near on $10,000. I had to get that out of the overdraft. I was paying the mortgage with the overdraft. Yeah. And that's why instead of making this program an upfront fee, I made it a payment plan, because I just wanted to help more women all over the world not to have to stress out like I did, not to have to hide it from their husband. He didn't know we were paying the mortgage with the overdraft either. So I hear you, it's fear. And Emily, when you are ready, we will be here. I would say to you, Emily, if you join, talk to Deb, because what I love about what Deb did is she did do what I asked her step by step. If you join, Emily, then it is so important that you and Shell's doing it too, right? She's new. You do exactly what I say you do. Don't do anything else. And don't even think about it. Just trust me. For example, I said to a bookkeeper early on that was doing in-person meetings. So she was getting in her car and she was going out to see people in person. And she said, well, I've got all the time in the world. And I thought, I know that, but you're breaking the rules. And the time you spend doing that, you can't do something else. The law of polarity, it's in my new book around productivity, okay? So if and when you join, I want you to just lean in, relax, trust the process, and do everything I ask you to do exactly as I ask you. No in-person meetings, needs analysis of 5 to 15 minutes, sell the fresh eyes the way we show you. Because what you need to do, Emily, if you join in the position you're in, you need to get the return on investment week on week. So Deb started selling training packages that were exceeding what she was paying me. And that is exactly what I want for you. The way I'm going to get that for you is if you do exactly what I ask you step by step, okay? And mindset and productivity, and work with me around productivity. And I don't pull punches. When I do get tribe members want to do it their way and I think it's wrong, and they gloss over it, I say, we're coming back to it, okay? Because I will try very hard to do whatever I can to help you succeed. I even have a little joke with my friends that I say, I've got my eyes on you forever now. All right, Karen says, I was in the same boat, Emily. I got past this by rationalizing what else could I do to get my business to where I wanted for $99 a week. It is true. I realized this the other day and took comfort in knowing there was a money back guarantee, correct. I think everyone can see too what I'm like. My focus is the result and the human. Emily, thanks, Karen. It's good to hear from other people in similar situations to know we have all been in the same boat. So true. Diane, fear also, especially when you have been burnt from another program before. Diane, I get this all the time. One of my tribe members told me she spent about $50,000 with another bookkeeping coach, and she didn't get, it's all about ROI, right? It's all about return on investment. If you spend 50,000 on someone and you make at least 50,000 and think, well, with what I've learned, I can probably make another few $100,000 in the next year or so, I'm okay with that. You need the return on investment, whether it's coaching, software, whatever it is. This is not a cost. This is an investment, and it needs to be. Okay. So when Deb joined, she said to me, I'm doing the conversion process, but I'm a little bit nervous, Jeannie, because ABC, right? And I said, hey, Deb, are you mentioning your capacity to do the work? And she said, no. And I said, you've got to do that. And then I actually built out more of the module to make that clearer. And Deb said, I'll go do that. And she did it. And she said, it's working great guns. Everybody's converting now, right? So I'll work the system with you. Okay. So Jen, it is so much more than what we expected. It is. It's completely impossible to explain it all. It's a bookkeeping practice in a box. Jen, honestly, none of us expected to gain what we have. Taking this leap, the only way you will fail in the program is not to do the work. It is true. Okay. And sometimes it's shame that does that, all in my new book. Karen says, spot on. Okay, so we have got one more beautiful human to hear from. So, Shell, if you want to jump in the hot seat and I'll go through a few things. So tell us, where you're at in your bookkeeping practice journey, when you joined and why you joined, please.
Sure. So my background was financial services. So I worked for a Big Four bank for a number of years before I got made redundant. So at that point in time, we were also looking to try and start a family. So I was looking for jobs that would support me in stepping back from stress, which I was applying for jobs and people were like, no, you're too qualified, and I'd be pulling my hair out. So I took a leap of faith and started a business. So I actually started as a VA, which transitioned very quickly into an OBM type position business with strategies and business operations. And with my background with financial and banking, I found a lot of people would just get their tax returns done because they had to do it every year and then just file them in the drawer and not look at them, didn't understand their numbers or anything like that. So for me, education was massive, and I saw a big gap in the market for small, medium business owners because if they didn't understand their numbers, like, where are they going in their business? They're basically just buying themselves a job. So that's how I kind of fell into bookkeeping. So I've only sort of been freshly new in the practice stage where I've been as a BAS agent for 12 months. And I joined the program in July, so I'm only 12 weeks in. But it's transformed everything for me. And with my background and wanting to do the educational support, I've had the opportunity to graduate early and do more of the coaching side with Jeannie, which I'm super excited about. But the 12 weeks has just been transformational. Like, if I didn't join, I think I'd be sitting here in 12 months' time, still not having my tech set up, still not having any systems, and just manually processing everything. And just echoing the tribe as well, like the collateral, Joe McMahon with the back-end implementations has just been amazing. If you're starting up and don't know where to go, the power of the tribe. I don't know, I've reached out to Deb when I've been stuck with the bookkeeping issue. Kylie Kudzelka, who's also on the tribe call, I think today, I've joined up with her proficiently. So just a plug and a shout out to Kylie. She's done some amazing work in that space for me to getting all my systems in place. So I'm now at a point where I can just pull the lever and go out to the world and get some clients and go forth from there. So I have another business as well. So I'm sort of similar with Heidi, where I'm sort of only a part-time bookkeeping coaching business. I've got a little 5-month-old and a 4-year-old. So very much family is taking up a fair chunk of my time, as well as a second business. So I can't speak highly enough of Jeannie and the tribe and the transformation that I've had in 12 weeks. And if you're sitting on the fence, just join. You'll get your money back. And if you do the work, the only other tip I would give you is just absorb Jeannie. Don't go and get taught to listen to podcasts with other coaches or anything. Just focus on Jeannie and you'll get a lot out of it, and just do what she tells you to do, and it works.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just 100% me until your Deb used to say I'm falling asleep to Jeannie. And that's what I need, right? There is a lot, and I get that 100% of the tribe members, when they join, when they log into the academy, it is beautiful getting Facebook messages to say my mind is blown. And I also understand that it's overwhelming and there is a lot to do. The thing is that when you come into my program, I show you what there is to do. Yeah. And, maybe ignorance is bliss sometimes when we don't know what to do. We don't know what a product ladder is. Like, I've got, the blueprint here. We don't know what's a brand. I used to think it was a logo. The $1 Million Storybook brochure only took me 13 years to make. So all these things that we didn't know that we needed to do to build a rock solid, sustainable practice where you get the result like Karen's got, where 90% of your prospects are pressing go, willing to wait 12 weeks when Karen just says, listen, I probably can't work with you for 12 weeks. And they say, that's okay, we don't want anyone else. To get that result, you can't just open your doors, charge what seems like more than you got as an employee. I did this. And then think, well, I'll just keep repeating that and trying to win work. That's not going to get you there. So when tribe members come in and they say, wow, there's a lot to learn, I'm just pulling back the curtain of what you are always going to have to do to be one of the 10 or even 5% that ever earns more than they could in a job. And to be crystal clear, that was me in my first 5 years. High revenue, lots of staff, but the time and the profit wasn't there. Okay, so just having a quick look at the chat, please do keep it all coming. Heidi, there's definitely overwhelm when starting to push through the trust process. Absolutely. And that's why it's important to play the long game. Juliana, there is the induction, which helps us get back on track. I still revisit the induction module every now and then, okay? So it's funny, Juliana, that you said that. I was thinking about the time that you said to me you went back and did the induction, because if anyone ever, sometimes life gets in the way. And something happens and we feel a bit disconnected, and then it's like, where am I up to? I'm ready for that in the program. And I say to you, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, start again. Go back to the induction. We'll send you the welcome email. Start again. And it's like, it's actually that easy. Yeah. Failure is only giving up. Okay. So just start again. Go. And then I'm in the background always thinking about listening, thinking, what can I do next? It's not just adding more stuff, but that's going to help some people a bit more. At the moment, what's on my mind is more content in the right area around productivity and mindset, which I've put in my book. So I've done the book, and now I'll think about what can I do to support everyone around productivity and mindset. Okay. A couple of the things we've done over the last year is we asked everyone, would you like the implementation sessions that are recorded Tuesdays and Wednesdays to go into an actual podcast and open in your native podcast app? And it was hell yes. So the amazing Joselle, who's in the room, does that for us every week. She transfers all these video files into audio and publishes them as private podcasts. The other thing is we seek feedback every month. And thank you so much to everyone who gives us feedback. I was only looking the other day and working out, how can I get this extra time or extra team to help me improve product? To help me do that. So what I noticed in the feedback is that the highest marks were given, like our highest scores, were on coaching implementation. Okay, so I thought, well, if that's what's giving us the impact, maybe we should try a bit more. So I implemented, we have coaching with Joe, one fortnight, coaching with me, one fortnight, but now we have an additional open coaching, like Ask Me Anything, fortnightly on a Tuesday. Okay, so inside the program, we're also always looking to make meaningful changes. Another one we did was a business development challenge, which went really, really well. And that's all recorded. We did a price rise challenge. We'll do that every year. So when Joe McMahon does our price rise, you all do it with her, but it's all inside there to watch. Okay. Let's have a look here. Deb says, sorry, call from PC that was having trouble signing catch-up proposal and monthly bookkeeping proposal. Deb's always closing sales in implementers, all right? Said yes to accepting on her behalf. Yeah, so we also teach you things like removing barriers. So we bookkeepers can be a little too detail orientated. So learning to do things like accept a proposal on a client's behalf and put a note on file. Let's remove the barriers to act, okay? Still never forget the day that I was talking capacity in an implementer and Deb Stevenson texts. It's in the book, Deb. She text message a client like, hi, Tom, you still haven't signed your proposal after a month. We're just about to hit wait list. I don't want you to miss out. Boom, signed it. And Deb's in the implementer typing, telling us all what happened. So to say that Deb takes step-by-step action according to exactly what I ask her to do would be understating it. Taryn says, do you have a conference for your tribe? So we have a couple of things. In February next year, we'll be running our first ever summit. So that'll be an online global summit, which we aim to be the most high value thing ever run outside of our program. We have just done an impromptu catch up tribe live here on the Gold Coast at the end of November for anyone who wants to attend. And then Demi, who is in the room, she lives in South Africa. I'm so happy to have her here, is now in charge of all things partnerships, PR and events. So Demi is now thinking about our first big in-person planned event. It won't be called a conference, it'll be called a retreat, and it will be personal and professional growth. Let's have a look. Gina, please may I ask a question? How does the program work? How do we go through modules by ourselves? And are there catch-ups for questions, etc.? That is excellent. So, so the way to think of it, because this is really something that came from my heart, I'll run it through it like this. So education, assets, implementation, team and support, or we could put team first, okay? So when you join and you get that welcome email and you get access to the academy's got the education and the assets, okay? Then step 3, implementation. So then basically you are directed to friend request me, which I know we have. You can actually Facebook message me anytime. And I've got bookkeepers all over the world. And if you don't hear back from me straight away, you can post in the Facebook group. You can turn up to the Tuesday open coaching and ask me anything. Okay. Sometimes though, what tribe members do will send me a private Facebook message. Voice clips are ideal because I can listen to them doing anything. And then I might get back to them and say, hey, I think what you need help with would make a great hot seat. And we jump in and it's like a one-on-one coaching, but we benefit everyone. It's either everyone's in the room, it's recorded, etc. So lots of coaching and implementation support on a Tuesday and a Wednesday with me and with Joe McMahon. And every now and then we throw the extra in if we really need it. Okay. Because to be honest, I thought the academy might be the highest rated. And I can understand it because when I'm doing the coaching implementation on a Wednesday, so that's the structured one. For example, I do brand marketing and selling. So I'll be like looking at my cohort and go, okay, looking at my blueprint, because I always work from the blueprint, and I'll think, all right, so I know everyone's got the education. I am a certified trainer and assessor, so like a TAFE teacher. All my tribe have got the education, and I know where they're at, and I know when they're trying to win the work, because that's what my focus is on. They're going through and doing this, and they've got the education. I want to go deeper. So then I go deeper on the things I know are going to be hard to fully grasp, just educational. And the tribe just is like, wow, I had done that module twice, and what you just taught in the implementer blew my mind. And you know, I learned that from another program where that's exactly what they did, and it worked so incredibly well. I knew this is the format that I wanted. So for me, my Wednesday implementers are very structured, me turning up as your mentor and your educator to give you new ways to absorb, new ways to implement, and then actually say, what are you doing? What are you going to do next? Okay. And then I try and do like a 4-month cycle now with the cohorts, where every 4 months we go back and we rinse and repeat all over again. Okay. Because we're humans, not robots. It would be nice if we could just do the academy and go, I have the information, I can use it. That's not. And then the tribe's like, but why doesn't it work that way? Well, it's we're beautifully flawed human beings stumbling along with the illusion of control. So, Shell, trust Jeannie now, believe her lady, you won't regret joining and having the power of the tribe to support you as well. And look, I think there's about 80 or 100 of us in there now. We're small enough that I can still give the very personal Facebook support. Some days it's starting to get a little bit more challenging than others, but there is that advantage to joining now. I mean, really early on when we were 20 or 30, there was a lot of conversations. And still when it's needed, it's just a phone call. It's just a conversation. Wonderful thing about this one-to-many. One day my partner said, this is not sustainable, you providing this amount of support. And I said, it is, because not everyone needs the same level of support. Some of my tribe members are just going along and they're doing it, but this person needed that extra help and support, and maybe a bit of tough coach Jeannie. So I knew that it would be like this. I knew I could support the many as long as I was supporting a micro niche. So I don't support, I only support bookkeepers in practice, whether that is in practice one day or 40 years like Deb, or you're 12 weeks out from launching, right? So I don't support bookkeepers working in jobs with technical skills. I support bookkeepers in practice looking to grow their business, right? So this is the beauty of it. Shell, the tribe steps up and helps through the Facebook group. We all want each other to succeed. I would love any comments from any of the tribe around what I call our mastermind, because I think it's one thing to be in a forum of bookkeepers. It's another to be in a mastermind where you're surrounded by success. Juliana, the more you listen to Jeannie, the more you will use her language. It's such a lovely thing, and it will come so naturally. You will even surprise yourself and impress your clients. At least this is my experience. You become a byproduct of those. You surround yourself with it. So in Think and Grow Rich, they talk about the mastermind. Yeah, Kay, it feels wonderful. The mastermind. So this is the Education Assets Implementation team. That's our 6-figure team. And support. I was at my whiteboard figuring this out. I knew this is how I would take the 7 ingredients and get everyone to apply them in a way that got them the big results fast, where I get the emails that say, Jeannie, I just paid for the whole program in 2 weeks, or whatever it is you've heard today, 8 weeks, whatever it is. Heidi, through the Facebook group, you get support with things outside the program too, if you need them, e.g. software options. So yes, and you can catch up. Like I remember once saying to someone in America that was struggling targeting women, which is what she wanted to do, speak to Karen Thompson, get in touch, chat to each other. I think there'll be more of this in the future where, like I said to a tribe member, I think you should chat to Kay, and I know you should be happy to chat to you. Talk to Kay. I've said lately to tribe members, go in and ask for someone to practice the annual planning session with you. In Coach the Coach, you pair up with tribe members, right? So The tribe, I think, is in the early infancy days of the kind of power it's going to have as it grows. And we've got Kylie Gorzelka. And Joselle or Demi, feel free to drop in Kylie's website. Kylie Gorzelka is a tribe member who's now selling through a product to the tribe. Yeah. Who do you think I really want to help more than anyone? When Kylie asked me, yes, I did my due diligence and asked her lots of questions, but amazing. She now supports Shell. She now supports the tribe with software. We've all done so well today. We were all wondering how we would have so many of us in a room talking and be organized. But I think when things come from a heart-centered, purpose-led place, things just fall into place. Once again, I'd like to thank so much my team. I don't do that publicly enough. Joselle knows I don't have a lot of high S in my right and left arms. Joselle, I'd like to just thank my whole team so much from the bottom of my heart, and thank all the tribe members that came on to be interviewed today, the tribe members that are in this room, the tribe members that aren't in this room. You fill my cup every day of the week, and I'm so eternally grateful. You've got so many of you work on the tools or use team members for processing. Diane, just so you know, the blueprint is to basically, if you're coming on solo and you don't have like a whole lot of spare money to start recruiting, Diane, have you listened to the podcast series I did starting with episode 74, Plan for Success? Because if you haven't, I'd like you to listen to Plan for Success, and then also Pricing for Profit and Joy Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And it'll explain how to plan out when you bring on team. You will not win the game without a winning team, and will help you recruit an all-rounder. Okay, so all of the tribe are encouraged to, once they are busy or, have got that work coming in, to recruit the all-rounder. And with Shell today, I was explaining how she can start doing that process months and months out. So when she's ready to press go, then she can recruit that person with ease. Whereas a lot of the time the tribe gets so busy, it's just like, help. And we've got to use team up, and there's a cost in that. But Shell and I were talking about how she might be able to start that a lot earlier and then just save on that expense. I mean, I pay for recruitment too because I don't always have the time. Thanks, Diane. I think you'll love those podcasts. And Diane, if you didn't get to our recent workshop, so there was a 7 Steps to a Thriving Practice and the Small But Mighty Blueprint. The two of those combined are excellent. And in the Small But Mighty Blueprint, I give you another blueprint, which is our Recruit an All-Rounder blueprint as well. You can listen to all of that stuff podcast style if you're a busy multitasking mum or bookkeeper or grandma or any of those things. Juliana working less on the tools from day one. This means, both streamlining and processing and delegating. Couldn't agree more. So Juliana's saying working less on the tools from day one. That's what I think you should, like Shell just talked about today. She's only just launching her bookkeeping practice. She joined us 12 weeks ago. She's got prospective clients who have applied for the grant, so for $7,000. So we're looking at that being a Better in Business program with her that spans 6 months. So she's identified that when they get the grant in, say, February next year, she needs to have staff. So she's going to do that very early in her journey, and that's what we'd love to see. Okay. But getting the staff in my book, I talk about financial management and getting the staffing piece wrong, which many of us have done. So many of us would put our hands up. And so it's getting that wrong that really creates the drama, and making sure you step up as that manager and leader. Okay. It's actually a massive, massive thing. Most bookkeepers go, we go from we get some traction, we think we're going okay, and then we make a ton of recruitment areas. I only made 10 years of them, and it really is it's like having a weight around your ankle. It's so hard to really get the success you want when you don't realize the mistakes you're making around recruiting and managing a team. So I'm 15 years in practice, and we have the most amazing blueprint that is working for everyone that's using it. I'm very thrilled. So you get to buy my mistakes. Yeah, it is. It's all really positive, Diane. And if there's anything you think of that we haven't answered, let me know. I know we bookkeepers are very detail-orientated people. So, okay, well, right on time. Shell says you can choose your own journey, For me, I will be focusing on CFO services and coaching. However, the rest of the program is worth it. CFO meaning Chief Financial Officer. So the future of bookkeeping is here. It's strategic bookkeeping, that is Chief Financial Officer, also known as strategic bookkeeping, also known as management accounting. Okay, let's all embrace the economic, tech, and consumer landscape and future-proof our practices. And like Jen said, have more fun. No quick queries. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. I'll see you all soon. Okay, my friend, now it is time to take action. So what are you going to do with what you learned today? The way I see it, you've got two options. You can go it alone to try and save some money, or you can back yourself and go for it and join my tribe. And let me tell you, we are knocking it out of the ballpark. That's not a sales pitch. That is me serving you, dare I say, courageously. To find success, I 100% know you need the mechanics, which is like the keys to the kingdom, but you also need to get your mindset right and be super productive. And these are all things I help you with inside the program. I could go on about this forever because I really want this for you. Have a prosperous week, and I'll see you in the next episode.